God, that person makes me so angry. They just make me frustrated. Yoid, what's up, people? Today I am going to talk about taking control of your own emotions. Everybody gets in bad moods. Everybody gets angry from time to time. The problem is, a lot of people tend to blame something outside of themselves for how they feel. A person might be in a bad mood and they'll say something like, that person makes me so angry. Maybe it's a family member or a roommate or a work colleague that just does something that ticks them off. My brother makes me so frustrated. My roommate makes me so mad. They are not responsible for how you feel. If you feel angry or mad, then you are the person that feels angry or mad. And you are the one that has to deal with that emotion. It now has become your responsibility. You need to either learn how to confront the issue or let it go. For instance, say the problem is that someone you live with plays music really loud till 2 in the morning, keeping you up at night, and it really ticks you off. In this case, then this is a problem that you will have to confront and have a discussion with that person. If you get pissed off at a family member because they tell you to take out the trash, or you get mad at your mom because she gets you up early for school or something, and there's not really a problem to be fixed, it's just something that's inevitable that you get pissed off at, then maybe that's something that you have to learn how to let go. When you feel these emotions rising, then learn how to just take a deep breath and just chill out, man. A lot of the time when you're going into a negative emotion, your emotions are very closely connected to your thoughts. So if you start thinking very negative thoughts, you think about all your failures, or you think about how, someone ticked you off or did something bad to you, then you're more likely to start feeling pissed off. And if something pisses you off just immediately, then you're more likely to have negative thoughts that go with it. So they kind of go both ways. So if you start feeling angry or pissed off, then you'll probably start going into a lot of negative thought patterns. And it's better to kind of just break that pattern until you get, too deep. Once you start getting into that pattern, you just get angry and angrier, and it will last a while. Once you kind of feel that initial shock, that annoyance, that pissed offness, and you notice all these negative thoughts come up, just stop, take a deep breath, and realize that it's not that big of a deal. Just chill out. If it's really not that big of a deal, if you realize that it's not that big of a deal, for instance, your mom waking you up for school or something that pisses you off, that's inevitable, it's part of life. It's better to just learn to deal with those emotions than being pissed off for every single day for the first half hour of your life. Here's an example. I moved out of my parents' place a few years ago. I've been living with various different roommates over the last few years. And after a day of work, I like to come home and kind of chill out by myself. I'm an introvert. I like to chill out and relax all by myself. For a little bit of time, I just like to recharge my batteries and kind of think to myself, hang out with myself for a while, because I work with people all day at work. And maybe after an hour or so, I'll go see some friends, or I'll just stay at home. So it used to piss me off when someone was home, because I love coming home to an empty house so I could just chill out by myself. And it used to piss me off when I wanted to go home and watch TV for a little bit. I don't really watch that much TV anymore, at all. But I used to want to come home, watch a TV show or something like that. It would piss me off when someone else was using the TV. Again, this is something that I can't control. It's not even my TV. That's what I realize. And I realize it's silly to get pissed off, because me being pissed off doesn't control what they do, and it's their right to watch the TV. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They're not doing anything wrong. The only thing that's happening is I'm getting pissed and I'm in a bad mood. And I realized this and I learned how to let it go. It wasn't easy. It wasn't immediately like, oh, I'm going to stop getting pissed off. And the next day I stopped getting pissed off for the rest of my life. It's a process. Emotions aren't logical. Like you can't just say, oh, I'm going to feel happy for the rest of the day and decide that. But you can have control over your emotions. And I realized that, like, I was just kind of being, you know, selfish, I guess. And the anger was my own burden. They didn't even know that I was angry at all. And I'd just be mad. So, like, that's just dumb. Like, why would I want to just be angry every day? So I just learned to, like, not care that much and just took a deep breath and accept it. I learned how to just accept that. And if it's something like a problem that needs to be fixed, then, like, or something that's ticking me off in particular, then I'll just talk. I'll just talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, I've become a lot more chill, happy person through this process. That's another thing. People get pissed off at other people for things that the other person doesn't even know about. They don't know yet that you're pissed off. Especially if it's like something like an annoying habit. Say, like, you go to work and the guy that sits beside you clicks their pen all the time. And this drives you up the wall. And, you know, it's not their problem if you get pissed. It's their clicking that kind of stimulates that annoying feeling. And you might be like, oh, that person is making me so pissed. But other people, it might not even annoy them that much. And until you tell them about it, they might not even notice that they're doing it. It might be like just a subconscious habit that they're just kind of used to doing and they don't even know that they're doing it. And so something that another person doesn't even know that they're doing is pissing you off and they don't know that you're pissed off. So you're basically just sitting there being pissed off, and that's completely your problem. Absolutely your problem if you're just sitting there pissed off and you don't tell anyone about it. And you don't confront it and they don't even know. And what's worse about this, a lot of people, including myself, I'm guilty of this, become passive aggressive. So they'll be mad about the pen thing and they might talk to the person, like I've done this, they might talk to the person less enthusiastically or meanly, or just kind of give them more dirty looks than most people, or just like don't like them over something stupid like that. And maybe one day this will build up and you end up exploding at them because they're clicking your pen. It's like, okay, just shut up with the pen, and you explode at them and they're like, whoa, chill out, dude. I was just clicking my pen, sorry about that. Like, friggin' take a chill pill, dude. When you could really, in the first place, would have been just like, hey, can you stop clicking your pen? Like your first time you noticed it bugging you, and then it would have been the end of it. One last point I want to talk about is when a person is intentionally pissing you off. You're like, well, okay, that makes sense if they don't know and you need to confront. What if this person is intentionally pissing you off? Well, the thing is, this is like person A pushing the other person's buttons. You know how people say, oh, they just pushed my buttons. Well, the problem with this is now they have control over your emotions, and that's not where you want to be. They have power over you. If someone could just go up to you and push your angry button, then they have power over you. And one of the biggest psychological needs of a person is power. People could get power in many ways. People could have power by contributing to the world, making donations, being a leader, influencing people to make greater change. Or they could have power by bullying people or taking things away from people, influencing people in a bad way. So there's many ways to get power. But the thing is, power is addictive. Power, like, people like to have power. I've noticed this even with my younger brothers. When one of my brothers is being whiny or something, like my younger brother, this probably happens in a lot of families. My younger brother gets picked on sometimes. Why does he get picked on? Because he's whining about something. And do you know what happens when he whines? Gets picked on more. Why? Because there's something, I think it's something to do with power. If a certain word annoys someone, and they get pissed off because you say this one word, like people, maybe like in Xbox versus PlayStation 3, if you say PlayStation 3 sucks to someone, and they get all riled up and emotional and pissed off because you say PlayStation 3 sucks, which is like, who cares, like, if someone says that, and they get all riled up, then like, it's like just pushing a little button, like just prodding them and just watching them react, and it's hilarious. Like, I know someone that was pissed off at the word YOLO. I was walking on the sidewalk with this girl, and this limousine goes by, and there's a bunch of people drinking, I guess, inside of this limousine, and they yell out of the limousine at us, and they go, YOLO! And she got pissed off. She was like, oh, I hate that term. I hate everyone that uses the term YOLO. And that just made me want to say YOLO just to make her react, because I thought it was funny. Just by saying the word YOLO pisses you off, like, it's a word. It's a four-letter word. Overused, maybe, yeah. Not some, kind of sounds dumb to a lot of people, sure. But if it pisses you off, like, get control over yourself, man. Don't let other people push your buttons, because then they have control over you. Don't let people have control over your emotional being, I guess. And that's another thing, like, if you're a guy or a girl or something, that's very unattractive. If the opposite sex, like if you're a guy and a girl could just come in and push your buttons, that's not very attractive if they could just have control over you like that. But if you have control over your emotions, where they're doing something and it doesn't get to you, and you have control over the situation, that's a lot more attractive, by the way. And like, people notice that. Like, people have a sense of respect for you if you don't get your buttons pushed so easily and complain about everything that happens to you. And if someone prods you, tries to push your buttons, and you don't let them, then there's a certain power to that. You're more, I don't know, emotionally rugged, I guess. I'm not saying emotions are bad. I'm just saying you should have control over them a lot of the time. Things happen, you get mad, you have emotions, but learn to deal with them healthily. Yeah. Alright, I think that's enough. I'm gonna play my guitar. Peace. Mike Marino videos.